My digital identity is definitely more like confident and stronger than sometimes I could be in person. Definitely when I was younger, I was more shy, more laid back. I didn't really stand up for myself. But when I was behind a computer or behind a screen, it was like I was a whole different person. I had all this confidence and ability to say things that I wouldn't normally say. But now I'm definitely more like my digital self, my digital identity. I still feel that there are certain things that I would say digitally that I wouldn't really say realistically, but I'm definitely more confident in what I say and stronger. Technology definitely enables you to fully express a specific dimension of yourself, because behind a screen you don't have to be you. You can be whoever you want to be. Nobody's going to judge you for it. Nobody's going to stop you from doing it. You can say whatever you want to say, do whatever you want to do. And yeah, there are consequences in some of that, but you have a different confidence than you would to just do it in person. Even to those that know you, you can still be a different person or sound like a different person or talk like a different person when you're talking to them digitally, whereas like when you're in person, you have a certain facade that you may put on to fit in or to be more like them or anything like that. Technology doesn't totally govern or influence how or shape myself, in my opinion. I don't have cable, I don't have Wi-Fi or anything like that. To some people, that's outlandish. That's crazy. Like, how could you survive? But I don't really watch TV. I don't really need it. I don't have it on in the house constantly. Granted, I do watch TV shows or movies on my phone, and I have Netflix and on my laptop and whatnot, and it's definitely a good escape from reality every so often. But it's just not something that I need in my life, and I can't live without, and I can't fall asleep without like some people. So I don't really think that it governs who I am or how I live. That being said, I definitely think that my digital identity is a product of the social and technological and context that I live in. Growing up in a world where technology is more and more in the now, and it definitely shaping my digital identity in the sense that like I want to make sure that I'm on the right networks or I'm socially active online, and I have Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat. But in the same way, because technology wasn't such an influence when I was growing up as a kid, I don't see the benefits of having all of the social media that some people have. Like, I don't have Twitter, and I'm not constantly updating or constantly checking or constantly adding people, and I don't have a million followers or a million friends. But it is nice to have, and it's definitely good to just kind of pass time, like if I'm waiting in the doctor's office or something, scrolling through Facebook or even playing a game on Facebook is definitely something that like I think it can be beneficial. That being said, I don't think that it influences how I am as a person or how much time I spend on it. But maybe that's because when I was growing up, I didn't have it constantly. I didn't have a phone at the age of 4. I didn't go fall asleep with a TV in my room every night. But maybe that's just the context of how technology was in my life, and that just influenced the way that I use it now. I definitely think that an online identity can be like a performance. I hate to even use this example, but the best example that I can think of is if people are catfishing. They put on a whole performance every time that they're online, like a whole different person. And it can definitely be hard to keep that up. I'm not saying that that's a good thing. I'm not saying that people should do that. That was just an example that I thought of when I read that question. However, online identities can be like a performance for anybody, even just if you're not catfishing or you're not doing anything like that. You can be whoever you want to be. You can start and act as a certain type of person online, and then keep it up constantly. You can put yourself out there as a singer or as an artist or anything like that, and that can be your performance. In the same way, if you want to be that type of person who is socially active and a big part of social media, that's also a performance, because you're not that same person in real life. Like, there's no way that you're socially, like, okay, granted, some people are socially active and socially that type of person, but more often than not, if you're that person in reality, you're not that person online, because you're more involved in real life. Whereas if you're that social media person on your phone or on the computer and you're constantly active on social media, you're probably not that social and that outgoing and personality wise in real life. I could be wrong. That's just my opinion. My behavior, though, is definitely different when I know it's public, whether it's public online or public in person, whatever it may be. I feel like I'm more reserved, not really my true self necessarily. Not that I worry what other people think, but I do put on an act of someone who's more publicly acceptable than when my behavior is not so public. My digital identity affects it doesn't really affect my sense of who I am as a person. Now, when I was younger, it absolutely did, because I wanted to be liked. I didn't want to have it thrown back at me or something that people could say, hey, she's not like everybody else, and she doesn't have this social media, she doesn't have that social media. But now that I'm older, it doesn't affect the sense of who I am. I'm going to post or say whatever I want to, whether it's online or it's in person. I'm confident and strong in who I am and what I say, and that doesn't change when I'm behind a screen.